When this anime dropped in 2016, nobody was ready. An anime about figure skating? Yuri on Ice ended up flipping the sports genre, exploding on Tumblr, and even getting recognized by real-life Olympic skaters.
Oh, amazing!
If you haven't already, leave a like or comment if you have seen Yuri on Ice, and this video will include spoilers ahead. Let's start with Yuri Katsuki.
Konnichiwa, Katsuki Yuri desu.
He's not your typical sports anime protagonist. He's insecure,
I messed up.
constantly second-guessing himself, and low-key on the verge of giving up. Then we meet Viktor Nikiforov. Basically the Beyonce of figure skating.
What's my name?
Instead of staying a distant rival, he shocks everyone by becoming Yuri's coach.
Yuri, 今日から俺はお前のコーチになる。
From there, the anime sets up what looks like a standard sports story. But instead of being about victory at all costs, it's really about self-discovery and, yeah, romance.
I wanted to surprise you more than you've surprised me. This was the only thing I could think of.
It worked.
Here's the thing, most sports anime lean heavy on hype and rivalries. But Yuri on Ice, he gave us something way more personal. Every routine wasn't just, look at my technique. It was literally character development on ice. Yuri's anxiety, Yurio's raw intensity, Victor's rediscovery of joy. It all played out through their skating. And then there's a relationship. The show didn't bait, it didn't tease, it actually delivered. Yuri and Victor's romance was canon. They kissed, they exchanged rings, they loved each other openly. For mainstream anime in 2016, that was huge.
Back then, Tumblr was basically the anime fandom's HQ. And Yuri on Ice? It owned it. GIFs, memes, fan art. It was everywhere. People weren't just watching episodes, they were living in this world. You could still say people live in this world today. Mappa, where is our movie we are waiting for? But the wildest part? Real-life figure skaters noticed. Patton Chen, a Chinese figure skater, has recreated routines from the show, including the more technically demanding ones, and shared them widely on YouTube. And then there's Joel Minas, who's not only performed iconic routines like Eros and Yuri on Ice, he's often done so in costume, perfectly channeling Yuri Katsuki. These weren't just fan edits, these were skaters on ice, bringing Yuri on Ice to real life. That's when you knew this was more than fandom hype. It crossed into figure skating history. And honestly, that almost never happens. And that's when you knew this wasn't just fandom hype anymore. Yuri on Ice wasn't just an anime, it was a phenomenon. And one of the biggest reasons it hit so hard? The music. Because let's be real, what's the first thing that pops into your head when you think about Yuri on Ice? It's not a scene, it's not even a character. It's that song.
My heart on fire, don't stop us now.
Or is it this one? Or maybe this one. One of the biggest reasons Yuri on Ice worked wasn't just the skating or the romance. It was the music. That had a big part as well. Each character's program had its own unique soundtrack. Yuri's Yuri on Ice, Yurio's Agape, and of course the sensual chaos that was Eros. These weren't just background tracks, they were character studies. Like, Yuri's free skate theme literally evolves as his character grows.
でも2回転にジャンプの構成を変えてきた。いけた。
まずは最初の4回転成功だ。
まだ終わりじゃない。終わりは。
The composition changes depending on how he feels about himself. That's genius level storytelling through sound. And don't even get me started on the opening, History Maker. It wasn't just an OP, it was an anthem. Fans were blasting that thing like it was a new top 40 hit. But music was just one piece of the puzzle. What really cemented Yuri on Ice as a fan favorite was how much depth it gave to every character who stepped on the ice.
テーマオブキング JJ。けど、今日のクリスは色気に。
Royal Anthem, Your Majesty.
Yurio could have been your typical angry rival, but instead he was this insecure, prickly kid desperate to prove himself. JJ started as a meme with his over-the-top JJ style,
But then you see the crushing pressure of competition get to him. And suddenly he's human. Even side characters like Pichit or Christoph had personalities and motivations that made the competition feel alive. This wasn't just Yuri's story, it was a world of skaters, each with something at stake. And through all those characters, one theme kept rising above the rest.
私のテーマのボード、勝木選手
Love. And that's where the show truly made history. Yuri and Viktor's relationship wasn't background flavor, it was the heart of the story. In 2016, that mattered. Anime had touched on queer themes before, but it was often hidden, joked about, or tragic. Yuri on Ice said, "This is love. It's normal. And it belongs at the center of the story." That's why people connected so deeply. Fans felt seen, and suddenly you had an anime making waves not just for its animation, but for its representation. And that's the thing, even years later with no sequel in sight, people are still talking about Yuri on Ice. Which brings us to the final point, why it still matters today. Yuri on Ice wasn't just about skating, it was about anxiety, love, growth, and expressing yourself through art. It redefined sports anime, it opened doors for representation, and it proved that anime could blur the lines between niche fandom and mainstream culture. Even if Ice Adolescence never arrives, the legacy is already written. Yuri on Ice didn't just tell a story, it changed what anime could be.
And maybe that's what makes Yuri on Ice so special. It didn't try to be the biggest, flashiest anime. It just told a story that felt real. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change the game. But I want to hear from you. Was Yuri on Ice a one-time lightning strike? Or do you think another anime could cross over into mainstream culture the same way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because honestly, half the fun of Yuri on Ice has always been the community that surrounds it. Thanks for watching. And as Viktor would say,